Hi, my name is Jalen, and today what I want to do is explore a little bit about the history of Marvel Comics. Since I was a child, Marvel Comics has been more successful than most other companies in all of existence. Spanning countless series, video games, and even movies, Marvel has established dominance over pop culture media with its popular characters and world themes. As of today, Marvel Entertainment sits comfortably at around $53 billion, with its movie division alone, Marvel Studios, generating close to $28 billion of that overall net worth. Naturally, as a huge fan of Marvel, I was interested in learning more about the history of the company that created so many of my favorite characters. After sitting through various YouTube videos, talking to my dad, and researching the history behind Marvel, I learned they weren't always the entertainment giant they stand to be today. Back in the late 1990s, Marvel started to face financial hardship due to various industry-wide issues within the comics landscape. A notable example of these issues includes the skyrocketing popularity of characters like the X-Men, directly causing comic publishers to raise prices. With the popularity of these characters rising, business owner Ron Perlman stepped in when he saw how the success of these characters could make even more money. At this point in time, Marvel started making rather questionable decisions within their comic books and digital media that fans just fundamentally disagreed with. This came to a head in December of 1996 when Marvel decided to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to its financial failures. After filing for bankruptcy, Marvel sat in a financial limbo for a few months while various investors fought over what would be the best course of action for the future. Once the investors could finally get at least to a common theme with where to take the company, they put their plans into action to start the process of making Marvel a media giant again. I had a million questions, but the most pressing of them all at this point was how did Marvel choose to revitalize their company after the financial hardship they faced in the late 1990s? One of Marvel's most effective ways at recovering from bankruptcy was the selling and acquisition of its characters' film rights. According to Ryan Lambie from Den of Geeks, before filing for bankruptcy, Ron Perlman was in the process of starting what would be known today as Marvel Studios. He believed getting these characters on the big screen for fans to see would have alleviated some of the financial issues they were having at the time, with him naturally expecting these movies to do well. While Marvel Studios wasn't immediately picked back up and put to work after the bankruptcy, they did take the idea of putting these characters on the big screen from Ron Perlman. Avi Arad, a business partner of Ron, was tasked with the process of building Marvel back up after the 90s failure, and he also invested in this idea of Marvel characters in film. This idea began to grow and culminated into the film and TV rights of several characters being sold to various companies. Spider-Man was sold to Sony, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Daredevil were all sold to 21st Century Fox, and Hulk was sold to Paramount, which is still causing issues till this day for the company. While Marvel still owned the IP, these companies could now make movies with these characters without the direct involvement of Marvel Comics. Although they don't directly profit, Marvel still sees a massive boost in merchandise, comic, and video game sales due to the popularity of these movies. These movies performing as well as they did soon inspired Marvel to pick Marvel Studios back up and start their own cinematic universe. In 2005, Marvel proposed a deal with Wall Street. Mark Savage from the BBC reports that Marvel asked for around $525 million to help fund this new universe, with the caveat that Marvel will give these characters rights to the bank if they fail to make money in time. The bank agreed. Thus, Marvel was given the amount asked to make 10 movies over the next several years. With this newly acquired money, they repurchased film rights to characters they were able to acquire and then went from there. Their cinematic universe was kicked off with Iron Man launching in 2008, being the first film they published, making over $585 million at the box office. Iron Man was a success, leading to the creation of several other Marvel films, including some of their most popular characters and the sudden attention of media giant Disney. Although Marvel couldn't use their recently sold characters, they still owned a massive list of their own characters to use for their newly created universe. Soon enough, Disney bought Marvel Entertainment for over $4 billion in 2009, giving them what felt like an endless stream of funding. This led to Marvel studio head Kevin Feige making the Avengers the team focus of their cinematic universe, and it's safe to say that was a good idea. As of today, with 38 published films, Marvel Studios has generated over $29 billion in revenue, with the Avengers branded films making over $7 billion on their own accord. It seems as if Marvel has gone through a series of well-documented ups and downs throughout the course of history. Being a fan of the modern-day giant that Marvel is, it can become difficult to understand just how bad things were for the company back in the late 90s. Through a series of smart business decisions and reworks within its storytelling structure, Marvel managed to find a way to become successful again even throughout its multiple failures. Its film division managed to bring them to a successful buyout from Disney, along with multiple billion-dollar films, whereas its comic side managed to find the light by introducing fresh new concepts. To this day, Marvel stands as not only the biggest comic and film franchise to date, but also one of the biggest pop culture giants to exist.